Welcome back to the Dynasty Rewind, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Bauer. The best in the business is back in business. We have a fantastic show planned for you guys tonight. We're going to be doing an NFL draft preview. It's next week, but we wanted to do it now. Give you guys kind of a week to marinate with our draft preview. See how right Porkman is and all the 30-plus veteran age guys getting picked that Porkman loves. You know what I'm talking about, right, Pork?
I don't. It's only a couple a year, and it happens, You
in the corner?
No, I'm not.
Because, that looks like a corner behind you.
Well, the corner is behind me, but, usually Rome has four corners, Mike, so.
Well, I didn't know if you were in the – okay, it doesn't matter. We got Porkman joining us. How you doing tonight, Pork?
I'm great. I'm glad to be back. Took a little vacation last week. Just a week to get my mind ready for this draft and this episode, so ecstatic to be back.
Yeah, Porkman was wilding. But we missed him. And we also have another very special guest. We got Mike Huff from the FF Face-Off. How you doing tonight, Mike?
Wonderful. And just to be clear, nobody puts Porkman in a corner. Nobody.
No.
Even if a room's got four corners, no one puts Porkman in a corner.
You got that right.
That's it.
Nate's going to be along shortly. He is eating some medium eggs, which until about 15 minutes ago, I didn't know was a thing. So he's going to have some medium eggs. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I've never been somewhere like, give me some medium eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Is that just dippy eggs?
It means
it's slightly cooked dippy eggs.
Right.
That's all it is.
Then it's just
it's just disgusting. Exactly, Mike. I'm with you on that one.
Okay. With all due respect.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Sounds. I don't know. It's not, I'm not a breakfast for dinner guy, but anyway, we got some guests coming in right now. They're gonna talk to you guys for a couple minutes right now. We have Julian. He is the host of The Point After, and we also have Ben. Great guys, great podcast. Go check them out at The Point After podcast. They are part of the True North Fantasy Football Network. Both fantastic guys, and they are doing something great for the fantasy football community this summer. Julian, Ben, why don't you explain to everybody what you guys have going on?
Yes, let's. So Ben, if you don't mind, I'll take it away here first. So we're running a 16-team best ball podathon league, and so basically what we're doing is we have a donation system set up with our donation of choice, which is Cyber Smiles Foundation. We have it set up with them that when you donate, every $20 that you donate is one entry into our raffle. And then when 3 weeks before before we actually have the whole podathon event, we are going to be raffling off all of these entry tickets. So, the more you donate, the more entries you get into this league. And so, Ben, I'll throw to you now. We can talk some prizes after this, but in case I missed anything off the hop there that you wanted to get out on the table, let's hear it.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much covered it. Just real quick, I am not on True North, just so you know. I'm not with Julian. I don't actually pod together. I do have a pod on 14P, but we'll cover that.
my apologies. I'm looking at too many Twitter windows and just kind of merging everything together. So my apologies.
It's all right. So, and it doesn't help that Julian and I have like almost matching handles, like just
look at
complete coincidence. So
you guys are screwing me up. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think Julian hit pretty much all of it. So, we started this event just really trying to raise awareness and really to the serious impact of cyberbullying. It's really the whole reason we're doing this is just, we can't have enough awareness around cyberbullying, mental health, and those types of, really things, especially as we've seen some things break down really even today. So just kind of in the fantasy community and things like that. So we're super excited about it. We're going to basically just do this live draft of a best ball league, sort of like ESPN and the NFL Network do, and really have a lot of people on it. Just kind of talking about the draft picks as they're happening all day. So not only talking about mental health and cyberbullying, but also talking about this draft as it's happening. So if you get involved in the league and you get chosen to be a part of it, then you're going to have, folks like Julian and I, and a lot of other folks within the community talking about your draft picks.
Well, that's a perfect segue then, because one of those people that's going to be talking about it is actually on this podcast. Two of them, three of them even, potentially, Mike, I'm shooting my shot here, but so we're we're here to announce, Mike, you are taking over an hour with the Dynasty Rewind crew of the Brighter Skies Podathon. So, I'm just super pumped to have you on. Like, obviously, I respect this podcast so much, and everything that you guys have built there, and so thank you so much for taking this on. And yeah, I'm
looking forward to it. It's going to be a good hour. I'm not going to give it away yet because some of the guests that we have lined up aren't a hard confirm as of right now. It's obviously schedule dependent. It is a few months away, so working on a good hour.
That again?
That is June 26th.
Yeah, June 26th. We're going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern and basically run it until it's over. At this point, we're planning on probably a 14-hour podathon. And just like to kind of let everybody know that's listening what's going on is like you said, Dynasty Rewind is essentially going to take over an hour of the 14-hour podathon. So we're letting these guys have their hour, do their show, how they want to do it, bring on whoever they want as guests. And essentially at that point, like just talk about your picks as they're happening if you're involved in the league, and just really talk about their personal experiences, whether it's mental health, bullying. I mean, whatever you want to talk about. It's your hour to really to raise this awareness.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in some form or fashion, so drop me a line for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Appreciate that.
And
It'd be really awesome.
If anyone wants to drop Mike Huff a line, you can find him on Twitter at the FF Realist. He doesn't have his Twitter handle right there if you're watching, but Mike's a great guy to have as a podcast guest. He does a podathon as well. He's going to be doing one in July. That's going to be that's going to be 24 hours, right?
Yeah, we just figured let's cut the foreplay. Let's just do it. So 24 hours. I mean, we kept wanting to push it last year. We were like, let's go 2 more hours. Let's go 1 more hour. So might as well just go 24. So we'll see how it goes.
Skipping the foreplay, you could tell that a married man is putting this podathon together. You
should have seen the white face when I said 24 hours. That did not go well. So
you also plan on helping Mike and Anthony with their podathon, and my wife asked me how long I plan on, doing it for. I said the whole 24 if I can. She said, you have a family, and I was like, yeah, the same family that you're leaving for 3 days when you go to Florida, right? So, Ben, Julian, thank you for stopping by. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we let you guys go?
All I want to throw out there is what people are playing for, because we have a wicked prize list. Basically, we've set it up so every single person who gets into the league is going to walk away with a prize. Even if you finish 16th, you're going to get whatever prize is left, because first place is going to get to choose their prize, second place chooses theirs, and so on and so forth. And so, not only are you donating to a charity that's out to, stop cyberbullying and impact mental health, but also you're getting into this league where you get to have a cool draftathon, and at the end of it, you get a prize no matter what. So it's a win-win-win all around. I'm honestly just so excited about this whole event. I keep talking about it, and so I feel like everybody knows about it now. I forget I need to explain things. So my apologies. If you have any questions, please reach out to either myself or Ben. I'm happy to answer anything that you guys need. There is a bit of a process after you donate that you have to get a form filled out in order to finish your entry, but I'm not going to get into that here. If you do have any questions, you can check out the Brighter Skies FF handle on Twitter. We have literally all the information that you need on there. There's a link tree that it gives you everything that you need to do to get signed up for the podathon. So I appreciate you having us on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and one of those gifts that you will be able to receive is a Dynasty Rewind t-shirt. I'm putting that gift up personally, so that's just kind of my way to help contribute to this. Want to make sure that everybody comes away feeling good being in the league. Everybody can contribute in some way. We're going to have a great time on the podathon too, guys. It's going to be fantastic. So
it's going to be great.
The only other thing I would hit on is, like Julian said, we've got the handle at Brighter Skies FF on Twitter, and just to get into it, if you're curious, it's $20 is all we're asking for a donation to the charity that we chose. So it's $20. And then I saw Will in the chat, and I know you guys are getting your stuff from there too. I'm not wearing the shirt because it's cold as heck here in Arkansas right now, but we've got the gear from Brady & Global. So that's our logo. Brady & Global is awesome, and they've helped us put 100% of profits from anything that you buy from them for Brighter Skies is going to the charity too. So
so go check it out.
Will's doing a great job over there. You can get Brighter Skies merch. You can get the FF Face Off merch. You can get Dynasty Rewind merch, and you can get a Van Jefferson shirt that Portman is rocking right now.
That's right. That's a sick shirt. I like that.
All at
Appreciate
freaking
it.
normal. So basically, anything that you need, they have it for you. Guys, thank you again for stopping by. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys out, and I'm going to bring Nate back in. But again,
Cool.
Ben, before we go, tell everyone where they can find you on Twitter.
I appreciate it. I'm at the Extra Point FF. We do a weekly show on Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern time via at 14p_pod is where you can find me.
All right. And that is the correct podcast that you can find him on, unlike what
That's
I said. Ben, I'm sorry about that. And
So-
Julie, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at the Point After FF on Twitter. I do a podcast every Friday night at 9:00 Eastern. This week I'm having Nick from Play to Win on with Dan Brown from our True North and Sons of Dynasty. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to do our final mock for the 2021 pre-draft season, 6 days before the NFL draft. So it should be a blast.
All right, good stuff. Gentlemen, thank you very much. So, Ben, there you go. And Julian, as I like to say to you, frig off, Julian. Those are it. And now joining us, we got Nate Christian. Nate, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I think you guys were making fun of my eggs, weren't you?
Yeah, he's fine for now. Why am I blurry all of a sudden?
Yes, we were making fun of your eggs. Absolutely.
There you go.
So, all right. Do you guys want to talk about the NFL draft a little bit?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So it is 1 week and some days away. Whenever you guys are listening to this, I don't know. It's almost here, unless you're listening to it after the fact, and then you can see how correct we were on our assessments. We're going to go ahead. We're going to bring up the draft order right here with some of my screen because I don't know how to just make that be a whole thing. But anyway, here's the draft order. So I think it's pretty easy. Pick one. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're buying him toasters already, so I think it's a done deal. Yeah.
Here's where it gets picky. Pick two. A lot of people are saying Zach Wilson. Some people are saying Justin Fields.
Zach.
I think they're going to go they're going to go Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
They've been talking too much about it.
Yeah, and those odds too. If you check Vegas, I mean, those odds are, it's Wilson.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think it's Wilson. I think the better pick at 2 would be Justin Fields.
Well, that's debatable. Yeah, exactly.
I agree, but I just know the Jets are going to jet.
Yeah, I would hate to see Justin Fields' career get ruined.
Exactly.
But at the same point in time, let me just ask this. If you want Zach Wilson, weren't you just better off keeping Sam Darnold?
Wow, is that what we're doing here?
I'm just saying, like, you could have just kept this somewhat known commodity.
Yeah,
all right, but yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, no, I
mean, Zach Wilson has more upside going forward than Sam Darnold.
I mean, it's definitely fair to say, but I think it's that old philosophy of, we got a new regime in here, brand new, start anew, and so out with the old, in with the new. But sidebar, I always do sidebars in this show. I'm always a guest, and I just ask whatever the hell I want. It's so bad. I'm never going to be invited again. Does anybody think Darnold's going to be okay? Like, is anybody on the Darnold bandwagon when he's in Carolina?
Yeah.
I am, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Just because I don't trust what Adam Gase did to, perfect example, Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
He went from there to, hey, Mike, you're in your DMs, bro.
Yeah, man. But
on the share screen.
Oh,
sorry.
But
I was trying to respond to someone. My bad.
No, you're good. No, but I think it's a perfect case of what Adam Gase did to Tannehill. Then he went to Tennessee and he looks like a world beater. I think if he gets the proper coaching once he goes to
world beater.
Well, I mean, he looked really, really good.
Quarterback.
He was a consistent quarterback that nobody wanted in fantasy. He was a world beater as terms of value, and not in terms of being a Super Bowl quarterback, but they almost went to the Super Bowl. Like it was close enough for them to do it, even though he did have a lot of help from Derrick Henry.
The other thing
I'm talking in terms of fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I'd say on that is, a lot of people point to Tannehill and say, "Oh, well, because of Tannehill," which I agree. I'm in that camp. I think people get hot and bothered because people think that we're automatically saying Darnold's going to be Tannehill. That's not necessarily what we're saying. We're just saying success could be on the horizon. But
exactly.
Okay. For the sake of looking at the draft order, do we just want to keep it to what skill positions we think could go there? Like, I don't want to be breaking down offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Now, you think if there's a stud linebacker or something that you guys think would go somewhere, or defensive back, feel free to throw that in there. I know IDP isn't really the strong suit of this group. I'm sure our IDP guy, Bob Van Duzer, is blowing up our Twitch chat, so maybe he has something that he can add in. Let's go to pick number 3. I want to go to Mike on this one since he is the resident 49ers fan.
Very nervous.
Pick 3. Is it Justin Fields? Is it Mac Jones? Is it something completely different? I mean, is this all a smokescreen? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I have changed my mind on this about 3,700 times in the last 4 minutes. I think it's going to be Justin Fields. I will not be shocked if it's Trey Lance at all. And if it's Mac Jones, listen, when you have to remember, 49ers Twitter is like out of their minds. Remember where we came from. We came from Jim Thomasula farting during press conferences and Chip Kelly not knowing which way is which,
I know all about that.
We've come a long, long way. So to me, in Kyle, I trust Kyle. I trust Kyle Shanahan with my life. So if he says, listen, I'm taking Mac Jones, all right, I want to see it, but it's a lot to give up to get him. But okay, let's do it. Because you know what? Maybe you weren't getting him at 12, but I do think it's going to be Fields. And I think that if they do intend to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, which they said that they were going to do, they said they wanted to keep him this year. I think Trey Lance is the best way to kind of justify keeping Jimmy Garoppolo around for another year, because Lance, among all these guys, based on experience, seems like he needs, a little more work, a little more of a project, if you will. So I'm going Fields for now. Ask me again tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not nervous at all.
Guys, thoughts on pick 3?
I think it's Fields. I honestly think they should go. I think Fields, like you said earlier, I think he should go 2. But I think it'll be a stone cold lock at 3. If you get somebody that can sit behind Garoppolo and guess kind of learn a little bit, I kind of understand the Trey Lance thing. But if you just want pure talent, I think Fields is the way to go. I think he will work better in that offense.
Okay. Nate? Sorry, I keep covering your face up when I put comments up.
Just the nature of the beast now.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you eat messy eggs, dude. That's what happens, man.
Apparently, at this pick, I think it is Justin Fields. I know we got a lot of Mac Jones smokescreen at first, but Justin Fields has actually been working with Kyle Shanahan for the past 2 years at a quarterback camp in the offseason. So Kyle Shanahan knows what he's got in Justin Fields. And I think it's obvious, but they're trying to get around it for some reason, just in case to just are thinking about Justin Fields. But it's going to be Fields, I think.
Okay. Now, you want to talk about a spot where a quarterback could sit and learn for a year or two? We got the Atlanta Falcons at 4. Seems to be a fitting spot for Trey Lance. Possibly.
I like the Falcons to trade back. I really think they're the first team that we see trade back. Like specifically with the Broncos, maybe the Panthers.
I saw a report today the Panthers were debating trading back.
I did see that as well,
which was interesting. But I hear what you're saying. But I did see that today. So who the hell knows?
I think this would be a prime. I think this is a prime thing for Denver and like a dark horse like Detroit. If they don't really trust Goff, if they want to get out of his contract after a year and have him learn, they can trade up and get like a Trey Lance or something like that if he's available. But I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Kyle Pitts going forward too, which I'm all for as well.
Except for my Hayden Hurst love.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I'd rather have Kyle Pitts more than Hayden Hurst, unfortunately for you.
Whatever.
No, I get it. I don't know. I think this would be a good spot for Trey Lance. But apparently the next spot, a lot of people are saying could be Kyle Pitts, could be Jamar Chase as well. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals at 5. I can tell you one thing. if they do take someone that's not an offensive lineman, it's just they hate Joe Burrow. But
Twitter tilted so hard at that picture of Joe Burrow with his knee scar there. You know,
that was
picture of him sitting on the throne in those new Bengal uniforms that don't look that new, but they still look pretty nice. But
look like they're Thursday night color rush uniforms.
Yeah, but I mean, they still look sweet. They just don't look different. Yeah.
Right.
If you want to do something for your fan base, protect your franchise quarterback.
Does anybody here think that it's not Penei Sewell here?
It needs to be Penei Sewell,
right?
It has to be, because you're just playing Russian roulette at this point. Are you going to wait? Because I heard they might trade back too. That's a possibility, but I don't think passing on Penei Sewell is a smart idea.
The one thing that jams me up with these drafts, and you guys talk rookies all the time, and so this must be a crazy time for you guys. This, like, take last year's draft, for example. We thought, oh, well, this pick is obvious. This one's obvious. And it, like, all of a sudden, everything changes on draft night. So it's like we're saying Penei has got to be the pick, but, like, who the hell knows what's going to happen on draft night? I don't know.
And what I'd say is I wouldn't be surprised if they take Jamar Chase because of the continuity between him and Burrow. But I honestly still think it's a mistake. You already have a number one. You have Tyler Boyd, and there's a lot of value in the second and third rounds for receivers. They can wait if they want to get another pass catcher.
On that note as well, Pork, then you can find quality starting offensive linemen in the second and third round of the NFL draft as well.
Not as good as Sewell, though.
I understand that.
In my opinion.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that could be something that they think that would be their rebuttal. You know,
since it's a very deep offensive tackle class.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. So let's move on to number 6 then, the Miami Dolphins. I think this right here would be a really good spot for Kyle Pitts, which would kill a lot of my Mike Gesicki shares. Mike Gesicki just not panning out so far like we thought he would. Keep in mind, I did say Pat Freiermuth is everything you wanted in Mike Gesicki, but he can block. So I think this would be a good spot for Kyle Pitts. If not, this would be a really, really good spot for any one of these top tier wide receivers because Miami doesn't really have that. They have Will Fuller, who's been up and down in his career. They have Preston Williams.
Like 6 games. Get out of here with that.
Devonta Parker.
And that's really not that great of a receiving core. You know who I think would be a great fit here for Miami at number 6 would be Jalen Waddle. Pair him back up with Tua. Might be a bit high, possibly, but the Dolphins do also have the 18th pick, which we'll get to shortly.
Can I ask you guys a question since you guys are Dynasty guys?
Sure.
Of course, obviously, Dynasty Rewind. Us on the FF Face-Off, we tend to talk a lot about Tua, and do we buy into Tua or not? What are you guys buying into Tua?
Me personally, I was never on the Tua train. And I hate to be that way because I like to see players progress and get better as their careers go on. But I've never personally seen the upside. I see the upside in Tua. I don't see the consistency in Tua.
Okay.
If you look at Tua in college, all his passing yards, a lot of that was yak from the receiver.
A lot of it.
The way the offense was designed it was a well-designed offense. You know, Alabama is very productive every single year. You know that.
Of course.
But it's to get their playmakers open in space and then let the playmakers do what they do best. And just that's run fast and get into the end zone. So I was never a big Tua fan. We liked Herbert better. You know, and we think that I still like Herbert better than Tua.
I mean, I liked Tua a lot last year. I still think he's got that potential. It was a bad rookie year. I think the Dolphins coaching staff didn't do him any favors, putting him in, taking him back out, putting him in, taking him back out.
Yeah.
And they're setting up a good team. I mean, they got a great defense. They got tons of picks in this draft and next year. So I think everything is there for Tua to succeed. And if he doesn't look good this year, I think he'll be replaceable next year. They've put so much around him that he needs to ball out this year with, the high draft pick they used on him. Otherwise, in his third year, he could be looking at some kind of competition at least.
Yeah. I mean, if not, then they are what the Broncos are right now, a quarterback away from being competitive. We'll get to them in a little bit, but we have the Detroit Lions at number 7. I guess just for Maddie, we got to say Nico Collins here. Right?
I think it's a slight reach.
Just
slightly.
A bit. But Nico at the 2.9 in the mock we did was a bit of a reach too, in my opinion. But we know Maddie loves him. What are you guys feeling for the Lions?
I like a wide receiver. I like Devonta Smith here a lot, actually. I think he fits how Jared Goff throws to wide receivers. A guy that can take a screen to the house, can work off of those short routes and have something after the catch. I like Devonta Smith at this spot a lot, just because he fits Jared Goff, if that's the long-term answer. And if not, Devonta Smith is a guy that can fit any quarterback and would be a great guy for a rookie quarterback to lean on 2-3 years from now.
I got like maybe 3 different positions. I feel as though they could go Slater here, just to protect the quarterback a little bit better. And I'm good with the Devonta Smith as well, but I think this is a good Micah Parsons spot as well. They kind of need help with the defense in the middle. The new head coach, Dan Campbell, he's like one of those rah-rah crazy guys, and he looks like he wants somebody to just take somebody's head off. And I think Micah Parsons can be that type of guy that can take somebody's head off and, really go into that philosophy of how he coaches.
Take someone's head off or maybe bite their kneecap, but I mean,
yeah, kneecaps.
I'm rolling with Jamar Chase here again, and this is the problem with these drafts. We feel like all these picks at the top. Well, this is obvious. This should happen. This is supposed to happen. I think Jamar Chase is the first wide receiver off the board, and I think it's to the Lions. So that's pretty much it. I unfortunately, Bauer cursed me out over the phone through text over my Devonta Smith call, which we'll get to in a second.
No, it's not that I didn't. Anyway, so I'll tell you what.
You weren't happy. That's sure as shit.
I'm not the most pleasant person in the world. What can I say? So let's, for the sake of time, we'll just
story.
We'll fuck you, Borg, man. We'll speed it up a little. I'll touch on the Panthers quick. I know they're looking to trade back offensively. I don't know really what they need. Maybe a second wide receiver if Robbie Anderson's not the guy long term. They got DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel left. Maybe a tight end. This would be a really good spot for Kyle Pitts. What do you think about that?
That would be a great spot for Kyle Pitts. Ian Thomas didn't really didn't help people out last year.
I don't see how he gets past the Dolphins, but I mean, if he does land here, prime spot for sure.
At number 9, the Broncos are supposedly in the market for a quarterback. I could see a guy like Trey Lance falling here. Possibly, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, right?
Yeah, just one crazy thing to me, and then you guys can go. Just say. You think about last year's draft, we thought about, man, look at all these weapons they're getting for Drew Lock. They're loading the guns, they're loading the cannons. And 1 year later, well, maybe we're looking for a quarterback. Maybe we're hoping a Trey Lance falls. So it's just it's wild what a difference a year makes. But I guess that's what happens when Vic Fangio could potentially be on the chopping block. So
yeah, that's true.
It is. And then at number 10, a lot of people have said that Kyle Pitts could be possibly falling to the Dallas Cowboys at 10.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I think the Cowboys is a perfect spot for it. They're going to take Surtain if he falls to 10.
Yeah, I think they need. I mean, they offensively they're set pretty much for right now. They need some defensive upgrades in Dallas.
Big time. They were getting cooked last year, but they got a new defensive coordinator now. So I can't think of his name, but
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn. He's good on defense. That's it. Don't take care of the whole team. Just stick to one thing, and he's good at that one thing.
And he's going to run a solid defense. At number 11, we have the New York Football Giants, and they could really use a wide receiver, I think.
Yeah, they could.
Darius Slayton's okay. Sterling Shepard, sorry, fantasy players, he's not going to be it. Evan Ingram's good for 6 or 7 games a year. And
a Pro Bowl.
Yeah. So
a Pro Bowl, just one.
what do you think? Who would be a good Nate? Give me a good wide receiver for the Giants.
Man, I think Shepard's a pretty good wide receiver 3 when healthy. I don't like a wide receiver to them, but if they do get one, I know that for a while Waddle was the kind of chosen one for the Giants. People wanted to set up Waddle being the deep threat with the big X receiver across from him, whether that's Slayton or Galladay now. So I think if they picked one, Waddle kind of makes sense. Gives him special teams, gives him that big yak guy. But I don't see them going wide receiver in the first round now.
Okay. All right. I forgot about the Galladay signing.
They were another team, by the way, really quick. They were another team that was rumored today to be debating trading back.
Back, right.
Yeah.
Well, the next team should trade back because they need a lot of everything. And at pick number 12, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. They need offensive line, wide receiver. They need defensive backs. They need linebackers. They need defensive line. They need a little bit of everything. I
kind of disagree with a lot of that, Mike.
That's fine. I'm the host, so you can disagree as much as
you I'm going to disagree again.
Quarterback.
So you sound like we need a whole team, Mike.
We need a general manager. Can we draft a new GM?
I teased this, and I know we got Eagles fans in the house, so I'm not going to dominate too much of this. But I teased it. So I text Bauer the other night about the mock draft we did on the FF Face-Off, and I think this is a Devonta Smith spot. And I'm not saying it's the right spot for him. I'm not saying it's the right pick or it's a logical pick. I think it's the type of pick that the Eagles will make, and they'll be like, "Hey, look, we did a great thing in the first round." And it's gonna piss everybody off. And Bauer didn't I didn't explain it to Bauer. I just simply said Devonta Smith going to the Eagles.
It's a deep class, and they can get good weapons later on. Honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I mean, if Jamar Chase is there, the Eagles are taking Jamar Chase.
I would hope so.
So if Devonta Smith is there, why don't the Eagles take Devonta Smith?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I think the way Jeffrey Lurie thinks, I think if Jalen Waddle is available, it's going to be a smash for him because I think he was looking for a speed guy last year, like Jalen Reagor. So I think if Jalen Waddle's there, he's good. If not, it's J.C. Horn.
Yeah. I really like Jalen Waddle as the quote unquote next to Sean Jackson for the Eagles.
So he'll play 2 games out of every 2 seasons.
Maybe, but hey,
sounds great.
He's on the field at least, right?
Sure.
Think of the positives.
I've been an Eagles fan for over 30 years. We're not positive people. Let's move on to pick number 13.
You're not positive.
The should still be in San Diego Chargers, and I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't have a feel for what the Chargers are going to do.
I don't think he's going to make it this far, but this is my perfect landing spot for Kyle Pitts. Yeah. There's no way at this point, it seems like, that Kyle Pitts is going to fall into 13. Right. 2 months ago he was, but not now. But, man, if you could have Kyle Pitts with Justin Herbert.
Keenan Allen.
I mean, that's great. I also really do like Jalen Waddle here. I know Mike Williams is there, but he's only there for 1 more year, I believe. And Jalen Waddle with Justin Herbert's arm, I mean, that would be really exciting. So I like those 2 offensive weapons here. Otherwise, I think it's an offensive tackle. I think that's the more realistic pick here.
Yeah, I'm with you with that, Nate. I think it's definitely offensive tackle.
Yeah, I would roll offensive tackle as well. And I would always just say that at some point, and I get it, the top of this draft is loaded with offensive talent. Some defensive players have to fall here, and they do need, edge rusher, safety, cornerback. They've got some things they got to fill on the defensive side, and the defensive minded head coach. So maybe they go that way.
The next up, F14 the Minnesota Vikings, a team. Actually, the next 2 I could see being dark horses to maybe move around and grab a quarterback, possibly. You never know. I think Kirk still has maybe 2 years left on his contract. I think he extended and did a pay cut type deal. Okay, so he's got 1 or 2 years up, but that last year is a lot of times voidable. So I could see it happening. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think at 14?
I think they go defense, in my opinion. they need help with defensive line. They've been getting like killed with injuries and people leaving. So I think this is I sound like Bob today. Shoot, I'm picking all defensive people. But I think they go Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye he would fit perfectly in that defense.
All right, and I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to 15, which I think would be the perfect Mac Jones spot. 15.
Yeah, that's
the
exactly.
Patriots, and then we're just gonna go around each of us, and then maybe pick out a couple teams that we think would be good, like these blah blah blah. So, 15, Mike, you are our guest. What are you feeling that the Patriots are going to do? Maybe Bob's going to chime, or not Bob, he's here, but maybe Sean's going to chime in the chat. He's a Pats fan. He knows what they might do.
I think the Patriots are going quarterback. They've gone to all of these first day, second day, pro days. They've been hanging out with Shanahan and Lynch. The Broncos have been there peeping through, and I think the Patriots are trading up. On our podcast, we had them trading up to the Cowboys to get Mac Jones. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if they trade up even further. Listen, you're getting, let's remember, when you're getting a quarterback, you're getting years of control. This isn't like the days of Alex Smith, who just retired yesterday. When he was the first overall pick, he was getting like free agent money. You get a good quarterback, these stud quarterbacks, you have years of control. I think the Patriots, much like in free agency, aggressive. I think they're aggressive here, and they move on up. Quarterbacks in the future.
All right. Quarterbacks in the future. So what we're going to do then to kind of close it out, but before we do, I always want to talk to you guys about our friends over at DynastyOwner.com. Fantasy sports were created to give participants the GM experience of a sports franchise. Can't even talk. But as fantasy sports became more mainstream with more accessibility to player information, it became more about who got lucky in the draft and who got to the waiver wire fast enough to pick up a player. Traditional fantasy sports lacks reality and rewards luck. It is not realistic to only focus on player performance and to not consider contracts. Do NFL teams assemble their rosters without contracts? Of course not. What if you could create a game that was more like the real NFL? Allow me to introduce you to DynastyOwner.com. Dynasty Owner incorporates a salary cap and assigns players their real-life NFL contracts. It is no longer all about player performance. Every contract matters. The 2021 season for Dynasty Owner has just begun, and starting at $29, you can play a fantasy game that lets you face similar decisions that NFL general managers and owners face. So start your Dynasty today at www.dynastyowner.com. I know Mike and Anthony are going to go sign up for a team right now, but that's going to happen. So, Nate, we're going to start with you. We're just going to go from the bottom to the top, and just, a couple spots that you could see or you like guys going here, there, wherever.
Yeah. Well, with skill position players, guys who are fantasy football relevant. Sorry, Bob, I'm not talking IDP.
A lot of Bob shots.
Yeah. Like, I don't see the Cardinals going offense, skill position. I don't see the Raiders doing that either. Dolphins could here if a wide receiver drops and they went somewhere else in the first with their first pick. But I think the Washington football team is a dark horse to grab a wide receiver. They're kind of in that spot where it's a little early to reach on that next tier of wide receivers, but at the same time, their second round pick, they'll miss out on that second tier of wide receivers. So I think, if they're really looking for someone to take that step into a role across from Terry McLaurin, and, especially when you have Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing the ball, this is a spot where you can grab someone like a Rashad Bateman or a Terrence Marshall, or, some teams really like Kadarius Toney as a first round pick, or Rondale Moore. So I think number 19 with the Washington football team, I think they're a dark horse to grab a wide receiver here. And it would probably seem like a reach on draft night, but if they get a really good number 2 across from McLaurin, I mean, it's worth it.
Okay. Mike, any thoughts on the rest of the draft here?
Rest of the draft, I mean, the Steelers to me are a lock for. I think they're. I mean, I'm calling it now. They're a lock first 2 rounds, running back first round, offensive line second round. So I think it's so. I think we're going to see Najee Harris be the first running back off the board at pick 24. I really do. When I get grilled by Anthony on our podcast about that, because saying to me, I guess they don't need offensive line. Well, they'll get offensive line, Anthony. Relax. I just think this is a prime spot for running back. So we'll see what happens. Come hell or high water, they are getting a running back in this NFL draft.
Okay. Phil, how about yourself?
Oh man, this one's tough because I feel as though it's going to be a lot of defensive guys in the second half of this draft on the first round.
I agree.
But Chicago, in my opinion, they might go after a quarterback. I don't know how they feel about taking Kyle Trask this early, but that might be like a second or third round type thing. But I'm looking.
Do you think if Kyle Pitts would make it to 20, would they take Kyle Pitts? They could use another tight end, right?
Exactly.
Good, always.
Yeah, but I mean, it gets kind of sketchy near the bottom. But I mean, looking at the Ravens, it's like, do you take a receiver like Terrace Marshall? Like I was listening to Nate the other day, and it's like I'm kind of understand what he's saying. It's like if you give Lamar the weapons, he'll make it work. The only weapon that is making it work with him is Mark Andrews. You gave him a running game now. He got JK. Give him somebody big. Give him a Terrace Marshall. Give him a Rashad Bateman if he falls down that far. That's the only thing I can see right now at the bottom of this draft because everybody seems legit. The Saints are legit. The Packers are legit. The Bills are legit. All these guys are legit at these bottom of these drafts. Bottom of this first round. So I would just say give Lamar a piece and stop saying that he can't be a quarterback because he's a freaking quarterback.
I absolutely agree, Porkman.
Okay. So one thing, I'm just looking at the bottom of the draft here at 30. You guys think that we could see the Bills trading out of the first round, maybe into the second, picking up a stud running back because the running game's kind of, as my daughter would say, I mean, I would love if they picked up a guy like if they brought in a Javonte Williams, something like that. He's an immediate upgrade over Zach Moss.
I kind of like Michael Carter there a little bit better.
Think.
I mean, even if the Bill, just for fantasy purposes, I mean, for NFL purposes, sure, but for fantasy purposes, do we know that Buffalo's going to use a running back enough that if they go ahead and draft a running back, we're going to be like, oh hell yeah, like I'm in, like.
Right.
Well,
jury's out on Buffalo Bills and running backs.
We don't know anything. That's the thing. We're just hypothesizing right now. But also, like I said before, Jalen Waddle, I like him to Miami. If they don't get him at 6, they can get him at 18. I think would be a good spot for him as well. So just a little bit of a quick draft preview. Didn't really have enough time to go over everything, but just kind of wanted to hit on it, talk a little draft for you guys, for our awesome listeners. Also want to remind you, more bonus podcasts, written content, all that good stuff. Check us out over at patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. We have lowered our pricing. $5 a month gets you everything. It's not $8 anymore. So you save $3 a month. You save $30,000 over the course of the year. Quick math is not my specialty.
You're welcome.
For sure. But you are welcome. So before we head on out, Mr. Huff, thank you again for joining us. And why don't you tell all of our listeners, if they do not know who you are, where they can find you and your podcast?
Well, listen, this is always my favorite podcast to jump on with you fine gentlemen. I have a podcast, but I don't care because I still think you have the best logo in the game. Anthony doesn't like when I promote other people, but you have the best logo in the game. It is. It's true. This happens. I have a shirt. It's wonderful. I should have worn it tonight, but I had to do laundry. So I apologize. But yes, follow me on Twitter at the FF Realist. We do a podcast called the FF Face Off. Me and Anthony Servino, who I would be lost without, because if you haven't been able to tell on the show, I'm not easy to deal with. I talk out of turn. But yeah, he helps steer the ship. We got our mental health podathon coming up in July, and that should be a good time too. So follow me on Twitter, and enjoy the ride.
Mike's a great guy to talk to. You can always reach out to him. He's just an all-around great dude. And Nate, got to get you out of here before you fall asleep. Where can we follow you on Twitter?
You can follow me at Nate NFL. I promise that my takes are not as bland as my handle.
I don't know where you're getting that from, but we will certainly keep that in mind. Porkman, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at FF Porkman on Twitter. You might catch me eating bacon on Twitter. You might catch me eating pulled pork on Twitter.
You sure shit won't catch him in the corner though. No one puts Porkman in the corner.
Yeah, Mike. Thanks, Mike. I'm about to join y'all. Mike doesn't appreciate me.
Come on down, dude.
But anyway, this Mike can be found on Twitter at Rewind CEO. However, I would much rather you follow the show at Dynasty Rewind. Please check out our Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, all that good stuff. Patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. Tons of great stuff. Our YouTube has the one-on-one series coming out every Friday morning. Our mock drafts come out every Monday morning. Both of those drop at 6 a.m. So when you're getting ready for work, sitting on the throne, you know what to do. And for the record, the Costco bacon is as advertised, especially the thick cut. I have a pack at home. But until next time, everybody, be kind. Please rewind. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Dynasty Rewind. Please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, be kind. Please rewind.